Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is Friday, December 26th. Some call it Boxing Day, not in the United States. But we are here in person in Memphis, Tennessee. We've had some moves across the baseball landscape this week. We're here to talk about them today. Luis, how's it going? How's your Christmas?
It is another work day for us today. The boss has ordered me to come into work to talk about baseball today on December 26th. Some people in a lot of countries and in a lot of other places, not America, they do give you the day after Christmas off, but not in the Locked In Baseball
you're making
podcast.
It seem like I run some tight ship here. We wanted to talk today. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. We can stop right now.
Cool. I'll step out the route.
All right, I'll go solo.
Christmas was cool, man. We can open this up. Talk about how different this Christmas feels. A lot different. Ever since NFL started to infiltrate Christmas, like I don't care about basketball on Christmas Day. Like it used to be traditional that you would have Thanksgiving NFL, basketball would take Christmas. Mm-hmm. Now this year it feels all weird. Like I know the Christmas Day games. Like none of the games like interest me. Like I look at the slate, I was like, oh, the Knicks are playing the Cavs. Oh, the Warriors are playing the Mavs. Like, it was just weird. Like, traditionally, you always know who's playing on Christmas. It was always, like, growing up, it was always the Lakers and Celtics, the Lakers and Magic, the Cavs and the Warriors, or you'd have the Heat play the Mavs. Like, it would always be, like, the rematch of the finals. And this year, like, it wasn't. And it just goes to show you how the markets are changing in sports and what the consumer is consuming. We are not consuming NBA. NFL, I think you would agree that we're getting to the point of overconsumption of the NFL, which is crazy to say because more football is never a bad thing in our culture, in our country. But this just goes to show a PSA. Major League Baseball, get your crap together. Let's get games on 4th of July. Let's make it a big holiday. Let's infiltrate Memorial Day. Let's make Father's Day. They talk about Father's Day, Game 7 of the finals. Let's take over that. Let's take over Mother's Day. These are like perfect prime opportunities where MLB has no comp and they can easily be the biggest thing on the calendar. And, give them 5 years, we can look back and see that, that baseball might be catching up to basketball, which is crazy to think about how it was in the 90s and it was the height of the strike. And then there was the steroid era that maybe we're finally getting back to that point where it's up there in the big three.
Well, you do know baseball, they do have games on those days. But
I know, but let's make it big.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you make it a bigger deal, though? Because 4th of July is a holiday that you're spent outside. You're not indoors, cold, watching football. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're out on the lake watching fireworks with your family. Like, it's kind of hard for baseball to own that day. Same with Memorial Day, same kind of vibe. Father's Day, maybe you can make it a bigger deal. I know they try, but they don't have that marquee holiday where everyone's inside, kind of cold, not doing much besides watching sports, watching TV. On the NFL versus NBA, I mean, there was a lot of debate on Twitter yesterday. The NBA stands were out. The NFL stands were out. I fall on the NFL side.
It was ass, though. Sorry, excuse my language.
None of the games were... I think I didn't watch any of the NBA games. I think some of them were apparently pretty good. The NFL games were not... Yeah, they were not good. I mean, but it just shows you that I'd rather watch Max Brosmer and Chris Oladokun than marquee NBA matchups because I don't know, the NBA night to night, week to week, it's not that intriguing.
And it was on streaming services, which is even like less of now not so much, but just like that you have to pay extra for Prime, you got to pay extra for Netflix. But I mean, the games are terrible for NBA. The first one was pretty decent. The Cavs, Knicks, Tyler Kolek, blast from the past, was blazing up the fourth quarter. You had the Spurs and Warriors, which I mean, we can get the mascot to talk about that game. The Spurs looking like a worthy foe of a rival against OKC. Yeah. The Warriors blew out the crap out of the Mavericks. The Rockets blew out the Lakers, and in typical Lakers fashion, we're already talking trades here in December 25th. Blow up the team, nuke up the roster, as all Lakers fans do. And the last one, I don't even know. It was the Joe Bowl. The
Nuggets Wolves. I'm pretty sure that was I'm looking, Jokic had 56, 16, and 15 in overtime. That was an iconic game, but everyone was asleep.
I was asleep. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be, MLB, you need to dominate a holiday. Let's take 4th of July and play at military bases. Let's play one in Fort Hood. Let's play one in Fort Knox. Let's play them on these obscure like places for our armed forces to take note and for them to appreciate. I feel like buy into the whole Americana, and I feel like as a marketing tool, you could go crazy with it.
I do think the one way to get people invested in a 4th of July blowout for Major League Baseball would be to have it at a destination location like a Fort Bragg or, a military base. You probably couldn't do an aircraft carrier like they did for college basketball.
You could.
15 years
You
ago.
could do it.
I don't think you could fit a baseball stadium there, but they could do something cool with that, and that would get some more eyes on it. But
I think that would be pretty cool. And think about it. You do that on the aircraft, say you played in Fort Bragg, Fort Knox, play it so like Area 51.
I'd watch that Area 51
and just do regional teams. Like, just don't have your full slate of 15 games a day. Just do like 4 or 5 games. Do like exquisite matchups. Do Yankees Dodgers. Do Mets Phillies. Let's do a little bit of, I don't know, maybe Braves Astros. Do like those bigger teams, those bigger market teams. Put them out there and just that's it.
Yeah,
back to back to back.
And all at different cool locations that have something to do with America in some way because, it's the 4th of July. I think that is one way that they could make it a bigger deal than it is. Then right now it's kind of just the regular slate. So, that is definitely something to think about.
Because let me ask you something. Out of all, places that we've played baseball in the past 5 years, because we've had the introduction of the Williamsport game for the Little League World Series. We had the Speedway Classic last year, which was a disaster.
It was a dud.
Because of just weather and whatnot. Speedway Classic, Rickwood Field, Field of Dreams. What has been your favorite? Obviously, everybody's going to say Field of Dreams, but let's...
Power rank them. Field of Dreams 1, Rickwood Field 2. I really loved that game. It was really cool. I loved how they did kind of like the throwback broadcast for a little bit there as well. 3rd, I guess they do the Little League stuff every year. That's fine. I think that's more for the kids than for the viewer. And then 4th, I would say Speedway. But it was a cool location, just the weather totally screwed it. I can't remember what's special coming up next year. I think they're bringing back the Field of Dreams game. And it's
next year.
Twins Phillies?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the big one next year.
I know there's the Mexico City game, which gets absolutely no publicity. They have the London game, the game in GB, which,
I don't think baseball can do the international stuff as well as the NFL just because there's not as big of a following in like Europe. Obviously, Japan, Korea, it's huge. Latin America, it's huge. That's why you have the Mexico City game. They had spring training game in Dominican Republic a couple years ago with the Red Sox. There is opportunity for baseball to try some of these special games, try to own a holiday, have some marquee events on the calendar because it is a long 6-month regular season, 162 games. You got to give people a reason to tune in outside of just the diehard baseball fans because it does feel like a lot of people just tune in for the playoffs. You got to get the viewer. And I know ratings were up last year across the whole season, but you got to get people invested in the regular season, not just the playoffs when viewership spikes tenfold.
And like I said, NBA has been a wash, and I think baseball is getting competitive. Like, there's more competitive balance. Yeah, it's different because Guggenheim is under the picture, but I mean...
We'll see what comes next year with the CBA. We've already seen some surprising team spending this winter, some speculation that a salary floor is coming. I do think Major League Baseball, the regular season is more relevant than the NBA regular season because at least in Major League Baseball, you don't have guys sitting out, Well,
there's rest days.
There's rest days, but there's no load management.
That's rest days.
It feels like people care more.
Load management is rest days.
I mean, you see guys play 150 plus games.
There's phantom IL students.
There's definitely phantom IL students, but it's not like the NBA where guys just I don't feel like playing tonight. I'm not going to play.
Hey, I don't know. I'm just pointing it out there. I know you're a little bit biased, but I mean the NBA product has gone the opposite way. I mean, when you got Hawks Bulls 151 to 150.
That was crazy.
That was like an all-star game. I mean, we don't see baseball games going 20 to 19.
And that's something the NBA needs to fix, and that's something that Major League Baseball did with the implementation of the pitch clock. Really fix the product. I think the NBA has to do something to fix the product on the court. Try to get back to, 2010s basketball, I think, was peak. Obviously, we're a little biased.
2000s basketball was peak.
I don't want to see scores in the 60s and 70s.
I want to see defensive powerhouses. I want to see some of those teams come out.
I'd rather see a good blend of defense and scoring, not now where it's just guys jacking threes for 2 hours. But anyway,
but before I have a couple of things. I mean, we got a long pod today. Like
we got to get to the baseball.
I know we're gonna get to the baseball, but I have a question of you. If you were to ask your girlfriend's friends or my girlfriend's whatever,
your imaginary Manti Te'o girlfriend?
No, chill out. But if you were to add like, I'm saying like girlfriends, like I have female friends,
yeah.
Who the biggest star in the NBA is and who is the MVP, like the same one, would they be able to?
Well, Kayla, yes, because
I said her friends. I know Kayla's a ball knower. We understand she's a ball knower.
Probably they'd say like Curry or LeBron. That's what they would think. Yeah.
How about for baseball?
Everyone knows Ohtani
and Judge.
Those
are your two acceptable. Yeah. That's my point. The marketing has been way better in baseball these past couple of years than NBA, because I was reading a tweet from an account that I follow on X/Twitter, and he went and texted like his female friends. He's from New York, and he was like, "Do you know who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is?" And all of them were like, "Who the hell is this guy? Like, who is he?" And so that's kind of falling into the point about the products.
It is a good litmus test. Either asking like someone that's just not as invested in the sport. For me, it would be like baseball. I feel like my mom's a casual, it would be my mom. I feel like my mom is a casual sports fan, except for like Michigan football, which she really is invested in. Ask her like, do you know who Shohei Ohtani is? Obviously she knows who Shohei Ohtani is. Does she know who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is? Less likely. She knows John Morant because we're in Memphis. That's our star player. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you feel on that. And, would she know Aaron Judge? Of course. She knows way more baseball players than NBA players. And I do think the NBA has struggled to kind of have that next generation of stars, SGA, Anthony Edwards, catch on to the mainstream. I think Wembanyama could get there. We'll see.
The problem, my thing is baseball, the stars in baseball more marketable than the basketball players right now?
I think so. Maybe. I mean, there is interest in SGA. I think he's
really for his play style and everything. I mean, because the thing about what brought Curry, and we're getting off the deep end here, is the Curry was a 3-point shooter, and everybody likes the 3-ball.
Yeah. It's
like in baseball, everybody chicks dig the long ball. People like the homers. People like the big yards. But Shai really doesn't do anything like, yeah, he's a really good player, but does he do anything that you kind of like?
He's not revolutionizing the game the way Curry did. And it was
I don't want to say revolutionizing. I'm just
entertaining. Saying. And LeBron was, you can't take your eyes off LeBron.
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah, like SGA is kind of just another star. I don't know. I mean, he also plays for a small market team. He's not doing, a lot of his points are coming at the free throw line, which people don't like. So I do think, guys like Ohtani, who's generational, Aaron Judge, arguably the best right-handed hitter of all time. Those guys are more interesting for the common fan than what's happening in the NBA right now. Like, there's nothing that sets SGA and Anthony Edwards apart from the guys that came before them, the way Curry did.
Now, let me say, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is he the Luis Ariz comp?
How?
Because it's just like, they just hit mid-ranges. Luis Ariz does something that is very lost art, like singles.
He's a very polarizing player. I feel like your opinion on Luis Ariz depends, kind of is a litmus test for your ball knowledge.
That's what I'm saying. I think I love Luis Ariz. I love him. That's what I'm saying with Shai.
I don't think Luis Ariz's value has plummeted over the last few years.
Yeah.
He's not hit. If you're not winning a batting title, what's his value? He's a terrible defender. And he hit below 300.
You could say the same thing with Shai. If you're not hitting the mid range, he's not getting to the foul line.
If he's not getting to the foul line, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's very I don't know.
I don't
watch enough.
I would love the ball knowers to give me a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for baseball comp, or maybe we think one at the end and we come back to it.
Okay.
Now let me ask you another question. I was thinking about this on my way over. I'm a foodie. I have a belly. I love food. I can't deny it. Last time I was here for Thanksgiving, I weighed in at 200. After a week and a half, I left at 210. Now the odds are that, I came back at 200. Probably going to get back home to 220, 225.
Okay.
Going to be D-tackle size. Probably going to go try.
D-tackle at what, a D3?
Where, a Bishop Sycamore?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but my question is, how do you eat your glizzy?
What?
How do you eat your glizzy? Are you an underhand glizzy eater, an overhand glizzy eater? Are you a two-hand, one-hand glizzy eater?
Underhanded.
Really?
Yeah.
So you eat it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, how many bites?
To finish a hot dog?
Yeah, like a glizzy.
I don't know, 4 or 5?
I'm an overhand guy.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
I was just thinking of this, and I was like, I had to bring it up.
Okay, let's get to the baseball. I don't know what that question was.
So the whole backstory. I was watching a podcast, and they were asking about how do you eat glizzy, and are you an underhand glizzy or an overhand glizzy eater?
Okay, I just answered.
So you're underhand.
Yeah, underhand.
With toppings.
Yeah.
If there's toppings, you're underhanded. I'm overhanded all the way.
Okay.
One hand or two hands?
2.
Oh, two.
Maybe
so like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a chalupa.
Sure.
Okay. I'm underhand. No, I'm overhand. 1. I think with 1 you can do it.
Okay.
So
is there any relation to baseball with that, or you're just?
It's a baseball food, and they were asking it on a podcast that I was like wondering, are you an overhand or underhand glizzy eater?
Okay.
Chat, let us know if you're an overhand or underhand glizzy eater. I know we don't have bagels, so I had to bring some type of food into it. So,
world's longest intro. Some random discussion there.
How was that random about talking about glizzies?
That was very random.
But it was on a podcast.
The NBA and MLB discussion is interesting. Let's talk some of the recent moves across Major League Baseball. There have been a few since our last episode a week ago. Nothing groundbreaking, but some interesting stuff that we want to get to. We've had a few trades. We've had an extension. We've had a couple of free agent signings. Chicago White Sox, he's wearing the shirt, made a move earlier this week that we're going to talk about. We had a Christmas Day extension, huge for a team out west. But let's start in Boston, as they've kind of been one of the teams that we've talked a lot about this winter so far. Boston and the Mets, which we'll get to the Mets next. The St. Louis Cardinals have shipped up Willson Contreras, first baseman, and $8 million in cash to the Boston Red Sox for right-handed pitcher Hunter Dobbins and a couple minor league pitchers, Yokier Fajardo and Blake Aita are going to St. Louis in return. This is the second trade that Boston has made with St. Louis. This winter, of course, Chaim Bloom is running the show there in St. Louis now, former executive for the Boston Red Sox. So could be some insider trading there. I don't know. There's rumors that there might be another trade between those two this winter involving Brendan Donovan. But Willson Contreras is obviously the key piece of this trade. The Red Sox needed to address that first base position with Tristan Casas coming off an injured 2025 season. We'll see what happens with him moving forward. What are your thoughts on this move for the Red Sox?
I mean, it looks like it's typical Breslow move. Like, common Breslow move. Again, Craig Breslow refuses to spend any money in free agency. He and I understand it. He wants financial flexibility and flexibility within the cap. The cap maybe next year, but he wants flexibility within his books, and I get it. I mean, when you look at the market right now of hitters, I mean, what did Pete go for? 5 by 155?
Yeah.
Which puts you at like about $30 million each.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a seat price. I mean, they're commonly going to look for gems in the market. Why are they linked with Ketel Marte? Because, again, you look at the contract and you look at how they've structured their deals and how they've built their team. They're not going to commit a mega deal to one player. They rather spread the money and be economically flexible, and they rather be financially flexible. And so I feel like they're ran by a team from Wall Street. I feel like if you're an investor, you literally are running the Red Sox. If I had a finance degree, I swear I'd be pulling up more finance jargon talking about how Craig Breslow runs this team. He refuses to spend money, which I don't mind Willson Contreras. Like, I'm looking at his spray chart, and I mean, it looks like he's going to be a great hitter out there to the monster. A lot of his balls are being hit out to the monster side. Around 262, 264, 257 past 3 seasons. Hits you about 15 to 20 homers a year. Is it a real upgrade from Tristan Casas? I don't know. Is the Tristan Casas project over? Probably, sadly. I don't think he's that bad of a player. I just don't understand the move, and just like your whole beef and your whole MO has been, letting the kids play, building around these kids. And I know Tristan Casas got his year robbed due to that injury. It was a freaky injury that happened at first. I don't get it.
That was 2024, right?
That was last season. Tristan Casas.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Contreras. Contreras had that weird injury in 2024 as well.
He's had a host of injuries.
Yeah,
He's dealt with the whole deals with Oli Marmol, which maybe that helps out. Not being under Oli Marmol and not having to deal with the whole issues with the management side of things. And I mean, yeah, he's a quality, solid player, but I mean, it's just a move as a Red Sox fans that tickles my pickle. Absolutely not. This is kind of like a cool, nice. Cool to have him.
Yeah.
I'm not losing sleep if I don't have him. And to be honest, like you look at what their roster is built at, they have that outfield, whatever you want to call the outfield. They have like a bajillion puzzle pieces. They're like one of those puzzles you get for Christmas, and it's 1,000 pieces, and they're still trying to figure it out and see which one's the place in there. And then on the infield, you get rid of Devers, and you have Trevor Story, you have Marcelo Meyer, and then you're just going to add another infielder. I get it. That first baseman has been an issue for you guys, but if you're just going to go for it and you're going to teeth down the Red Sox, why not just make that financial commitment to Pete Alonso, like we said? Why not go for one of the big boy first basemen out there?
There is some payroll flexibility. Right now, Fangraphs has them at $191 million payroll next season. So the Athletic, Ken Rosenthal had an article where they should be primed to go out and spend big on Alex Bregman. I would have them rather have spent the money on Pete Alonso and figure it out at third base, probably Marcelo Meyer, who still needs to prove himself at the plate as a major league player, but I think he's there defensively. They gave the money to Roman Anthony, which I think will end up looking like a very team-friendly deal. 8 years, $130, which is averaging 16.25 a year. They extended Garrett Crochet for 6 years, $170 last winter or before the season. I think it was actually right after the season. Sonny Gray's making big money, $31 million a year, or 31 and then 30. I think the Cardinals are paying some of that deal down as well. So it's interesting that the Cardinals really wanted to get off these two guys. Clearly did not view Gray and Contreras as pieces of the future moving forward. It's a veteran in the locker room. He's a 3-time All-Star. None of those came in St. Louis, which is something worth noting. And
at this point, All-Star appearances are like participation awards. That's how they select them for the amount of opt-outs that happen. And
that's true.
My whole thing is you are the Boston Red Sox. You are one of the biggest franchises in the major leagues. And you're out here running a team like the Oakland Athletics. Now the Athletics. Like, you have to be making moves to compete. And you have a core of Garrett Crochet, Garrett Whitlock, Aroldis Chapman. You have Sonny Gray, which we're both fans of the move. Like, it could go real nice for them. And you have a good team. And you have a team that was ready to go last year. Granted, the Roman Anthony injury went sideways, but I kind of feel like if he was healthy, I kind of feel like their whole postseason goes different. Their whole last month goes different. Like, instead of the Blue Jays being there, you could make an argument that,
they would have beaten the Yankees.
They would have beaten the Yankees.
People are like, oh, Roman Anthony, whatever, it's wondering. People that aren't Red Sox fans don't realize how much of an impact he had on that lineup and how just, vital he was to that team. I mean, he was arguably their most important player last year as a rookie.
And I'm just saying, he did that, and then we're going to go get a guy in Willson Contreras. How much is he due left?
He's got 18 this year, 17 in 27, and then a club option for $20 million in 2028.
So 18 and 17 million, which that 18 gets cut down to about 10 million because the money got sent over. So you're telling me, and I'm going to give you a list of players, okay? You're going to tell me who do you prefer, Ryan O'Hearn or Willson Contreras?
Contreras.
I would prefer Ryan O'Hearn.
Ryan O'Hearn had a career year last year, All-Star, and we'll talk about him where he signed later.
But he's at least proven. He's played in division.
Hit lefties well last year.
Hits lefties well. His WAR last year was 3 flat.
It was last season though. He'd be a lot cheaper than Contreras. He's younger than Contreras too, I think.
Yeah. Josh Naylor or Contreras?
Josh Naylor, of course.
And Josh Naylor got 5x90 or 5x120?
Yeah, I think it was 90.
So 5x90. So what's that AAV you're looking at?
I'll look it up here. He got 5x92.5, so 18.5 a year.
So 18.5 a year.
Similar to what Contreras is at.
So what Breslow just said is he'd rather have Willson Contreras at 17 next year. Which, I mean, that contract is movable next year because it's a 1-year deal. They can offload it to like a Pittsburgh or...
Who's a 1-year deal?
Contreras, because
he's got 2 more years and then a club option.
exactly. So this year he plays,
Yes.
and then the next year,
Then in 2026-7, he's a club option. Yeah.
and then you decline it. You can send him to Pittsburgh, and he can do it. But my whole thing is, as the Red Sox, you're playing for contention. You're playing for the playoffs. You're playing for a World Series. You just decided to take Willson Contreras over Josh Naylor.
That's true.
At the same price, essentially. Because the only difference was that Josh Naylor had 5 years of control compared to 3 of control, which technically can become into 1.
And, he's a good defender.
He's a converted catcher to first baseman. I'm not losing sleep.
Naylor is a really good base runner. Gives you more on the base pass, even though he's not fast, but he's, for whatever reason, he can steal bases.
Energy in the clubhouse. We saw what he does to that team. We saw the type of guy he is in that Yankees series when he was with the Guards.
The Red Sox are left-handed. They have Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, Marcelo Meyer, all lefties, so maybe they wanted to get a right-handed bat in there with Contreras. That's something, but then you can say, well, they should have got Pete Alonso. I don't know. And you also have to note that FSG just sold the Penguins. They got an influx of cash from that sale. Yeah, I don't know if that impacts the baseball side of things, but there's more money for that.
But does it make sense what Barcelona's doing? Like, I see what they're trying to do, but I don't see it. Like, when you look at the Red Sox, their number one priority this offseason should be having, like, if you look at the wish list, number 1, re-sign Alex Bregman. Everybody knew, and the grandma and everybody knew that Alex Bregman was going to opt out. Okay? Mm-hmm. He opts out. So that's your number 1 priority. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 2 priority is finding number 2 starter, 2-3 starter behind Crochet. Because if the season goes south with Gray, okay, he's a 3 starter, and you hope Bayo can take the next step and become a number 2. That's kind of like my logic going through. Or maybe one of these young guys like Peyton Tooley.
Tolley and then Connolly early. Yeah.
They step up and become those guys. Okay, that's number 2. And then number 3, you find a first baseman. But is Willson Contreras really that big of an update of Casas? I know Casas went over the huge injury.
Yeah.
And you don't know what he's going to be, and he's still young. There's still room to grow.
Well, that's kind of how I feel as a Yankee fan. Like, yeah, Willson Contreras is a good player.
It's cool.
It's a good trade, but it doesn't scare me. As it's an upgrade from what they had after Casas last season, of course.
They had Sogard. They were running out. What's his name? Abraham Toro.
The big lefty Nathaniel
Lowe, who they DFA'd at the end of the year.
So it's an upgrade from that, but is it an upgrade from healthy Casas? I don't know. We haven't really seen Casas stay healthy for an extended period of time.
I'm just in the boat that it's just like you're the Red Sox, and it's just, is this a move that it's cool, but like you're giving up Hunter Dobbins, which I mean,
we even talked about the St. Louis.
Which I mean, that's a good pickup for St. Louis. I mean, he just reeks of a Cardinal starter. Like, he just gives me complete Cardinal starter vibes. Like,
it's a good pickup. Getting a young, controllable arm. He's 26, Texas Tech guy. But the Cardinals have to prove that they can develop pitchers. They have to reestablish
I get it, but I'd rather have as much lottery tickets. That's what the Cardinals are doing. The Cardinals are literally going and shipping these guys out and starting over, which I don't mind. I like that they're starting over. And they're going and getting pitching and these projects that, hey, let's take flyers on these guys and see if they turn out. Yeah. At some point, one of them's going to turn out. It's like the whole Dustin May, Hunter Dobbins, and they had another trade this offseason. Sonny Gray, they got the guy from the other trade, the other pitcher from the Red Sox trade. Yeah. Then at that point, one of those guys is going to prove to be a decent pitcher. I'm not saying they can be all-star. If they get all-star, crap, you got the jackpot. But if not, you're cooling. So
Dusty Blake is the pitching coach there. He's got to prove that he can.
Dusty Blake? I thought it was Andrew. Oh, my bad. I was thinking Boston. Sorry.
Yeah, no, in St. Louis. He's got to prove that he can develop a pitcher because the Cardinals have not done that in a little bit. So let's see what happens with the Cardinals. I think it's a solid move for both teams, but not like, oh my gosh, the Red Sox are World Series favorites at this point.
Does it raise the ceiling? No. Does it raise the floor? Yeah.
I think that's fair.
It's a floor. Let's classify this. This is a floor-raising move. Still want to see if they can go get Bregman. That's number one priority. Don't know how Ketel Marte really fits in there.
They need a second baseman, but
does it fit?
Do you move Rafaela to second base? We'll see. It's still an incomplete on the offseason.
You're not moving Rafaela, but I mean, you still have Trevor Story. Say if you re-sign Bregman, you have him. You're gonna have Marcelo Meyer. and then you're going to have Christian Campbell. So it's like, why do you need a second baseman? I understand
Christian Campbell has to prove that he can. Christian Campbell and Meyer have to prove that they can produce at the major league level.
But Meyer hasn't played a full season.
He's got to prove that he can be healthy too. He's dealt with a lot of injuries.
It's a month and a half of pro ball in the majors.
He's had a lot of injuries in the minors as well. So that's what I'm saying. He's got to prove his health. Those guys are unproven.
I'm just saying.
I know they gave money to Campbell, but you got to prove that he can produce at the major league level. I'm just saying.
The Ketel Marte contract just reeks of a Red Sox contract. Just find any like bang for your buck contract, and I can guarantee you, like, the Red Sox are salivating.
Yeah, and if you can go out and get a Ketel Marte who's a team friendly deal, I think you do that deal if the opportunity presents itself. Let's see, it's still incomplete on the offseason for the Sox.
Where do you think he ends up, Ketel Marte? Let's just talk about it right now. I mean, you have the rumors. I mean, the whole second base market's kind of, I think, plugged up to see who blinks first between St. Louis with Brendan Donovan and Ketel Marte with Arizona. You see the Mets are now involved, which kind of doesn't make sense because they just got Semien. So
yeah, it makes no sense.
So what are we going to do? Semien's going to play third? I mean, that's the only slot that they have on that infield. I mean, because second base, it's open, but they have Semien. And Semien's at second. They have Semien and Lindor. And, like, what other team needs a second baseman in that big market enough to take Ketel Marte on? I mean, they said Seattle. I mean, does Seattle even have the farm system if they want young, controllable arms? I mean, they would probably have to give up one of the big five. Maybe you give up Castillo, eat a little bit of money.
Seems like Seattle's going youth in the infield this year. What if he just stays in Arizona? What if they just don't get the price that they're looking for with Marte?
I just think how everything's going, I just think that relationship is severed. That's at a point of he can't come to camp.
Then Boston makes the most sense because they have the young pieces they can ship back to Arizona. They do want young arms, so you'd have to move Connolly early or Peyton Tolle or both of them, and then they go from there. Obviously, the Yankees are on his no trade clause list, whatever his no trade list. So
he's not going to the Yankees. Even though the Yankees are going to be looking for a second baseman next offseason.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that, I mean, have you seen Jazz Chisholm this offseason?
He's been active on the socials. Congratulations to him. He got engaged on Christmas.
Yeah. How do you think GM Judge feels about the whole social media with Mr. Chisholm this offseason?
I don't know. I saw that GM Judge wants Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, but did you see what Jazz said this morning?
No.
He said that my wife says I need to stay off socials, so I will be off socials for a while.
Hey. I don't know. Good for Jazz getting engaged.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is that something that they're gonna want to carry to the clubhouse? That's the point. It's a whole Ketel Marte. That drama, and just like, it's not drama, but Jazz this offseason and in season has brought on a lot of controversy to himself. From the media, his play.
Great player on the field.
When he's on.
30 season, missed a full month.
When he's off, he's
high strikeout.
High strikeout. It's just what I'm saying. And the money you're gonna commit. I'm saying
they're not extending Jazz. That's not.
I'm just saying the second base market is percolating, and it's right now who blinks first. Is it Arizona who makes the deal first, St. Louis, or does somebody just call New York up and be like, "Hey, we'll give you a frontline starter for Jazz Chisholm. I think you take it." As much as I'm a Jazz believer, you really have to consider that.
Well, and it's been floated that the Yankees are listening to offers on Jazz Chisholm, which I think you have to do. Doesn't mean that they're going to trade him, but
that's just
a guy in a contract year, you have to listen.
That's just good business. That's just good business. You always listen to what good business. I'm just saying, the second base market is percolating. It's going crazy.
If I had to make a prediction for Marte, I think it would be Boston still. Obviously, he's not getting traded to the Dodgers intra-division and in the Mets, but I don't know positionally if that makes much sense.
He's going to go to the Mets.
Let's talk Mets now.
I just think Stearns and Cohen have to do something.
And that would make me feel a lot differently about this Mets offseason from what we've seen from them so far. They made a trade earlier this week. They traded with the Athletics.
Let's go.
They shipped off Jeff McNeil and $5.75 million for a rookie ball pitcher, Yordan Rodriguez. So I don't have much on him, but essentially this was just a dump, getting rid of McNeil, getting rid of the money. There was a very interesting point in Ken Rosenthal and Will Salmon's post on The Athletic from December 22nd. They said, quote, With their trade of McNeil to the A's on Monday this offseason, the New York Mets have parted with 3 homegrown fixtures, Pete Alonso in free agency and McNeil and Nimmo in trades. And then he lists a quote from an anonymous player or anonymous source, says, "What they've done tells you how big of an S show their clubhouse was," said one rival executive who was granted anonymity. "The guessing is over. It was a disaster." Whether or not the issues were as bad as that executive suggests, one longtime National League scout said, "It's obvious that the president of baseball operations, David Stearns, is making a concerted effort to shift the clubhouse culture. As one Mets person put it, we definitely tidied things up in our house. Now it's time to do more rebuilding."
I disagree. I think I'm going to sound crazy, but look, deep diving it, I think this is not a bad move for the Mets. You're freeing up some cash. I mean, his contract was quite large. For as much as a terrible offseason it's been in New York and Queens, let's look at the numbers. In 2022 was Jeff McNeil's best year. In 5.9 WAR, 326 batting average, 382 OBP. Ever since that year, his batting average has gone down to 270, 238, and 243. On-base percentage has also gone down from 382 now to 335. Last year, it was 308 and 24. Again, a guy who was a 5.9 WAR guy is now a 1.5 to WAR. Clean out some money. Clubhouse issues were going on. I mean, why not? Start the season out fresh, free some money up. Let's see if they go use that money somewhere else and start over. Like I said, I'm not it's incomplete, but I like the move for the Mets.
What this tells me is the Mets are rebuilding their clubhouse in Juan Soto's vision. They're doing everything they can to keep him happy, have the players in the locker room that he wants. We saw it when the year he was with the Yankees. He talked so much about how he loved the clubhouse. That's why they brought in Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, guys that all got along.
Yeah, they're making Yankees. They're making the Yankees now all over. So
they're building their organization around Juan Soto, which makes sense. Is something you have to do when you give a guy as much money as they gave Juan Soto. It is interesting. It sucks for Mets fans losing some of those franchise favorites, some of those guys that were on that 2024 team that got them to the NLCS, one of their favorite teams of all time. Of course, it hurts for the fans. But given the circumstances, given that Juan Soto is their guy for the next however many years, almost 20 years it feels like, they're building this around Juan Soto, and it makes sense. Incomplete on the offseason. They still have some moves in them, I imagine. This is not going to be the Mets team that we're going to see on opening day. But they're fixing the clubhouse. And I don't know, it is very interesting thinking about what was that clubhouse like last year. Maybe that's part of the reason that they struggled so much from June onward. So interesting move from the Mets. I think it makes sense. Who knows? Maybe this Yordan Rodriguez guy could pan out and be something for them as well.
I mean, I'm just waiting to see I like the move for the Mets clearing out the money, but I want to see what they do to follow. Are we going to go get Cody Bellinger? Are you going to go call Kyle Tucker up? What's your follow-up? I mean, there's a lot of RBIs and a lot of walks that are leaving the lineup and a lot of versatility. I mean, that's one thing I like about Jeff McNeil. When you look at it from the A side, I really like the move. They're a young team learning how to win. You add this Jeff McNeil guy, pretty good guy, been in the league for quite a while. A serviceable player, can play all around, outfield, second base. Team USA also for WBC. I think this is a really good move.
He's on the team for next year?
He was on the team last time.
Yeah, in 23.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's a really good move. I mean, Zach Geloff probably platoons with him. So it'll be between Geloff and Jeff McNeil at second. You're looking at the A's moving forward. You got
he was an outfielder for them last year for the Mets. I don't know if he's going to be playing. They got him at second base right now in Fangraphs.
Yeah, he can play second base, and he can shift in the outfield for because in the outfield they have Soderstrom. You got Zach Butler and Denzel Clark for that outfield. Maybe he plays a little outfield out there. Like I said, it's good versatility for a team that's learning how to win out there out west in a very tough division. That I don't want to say tough, but more so competitive division between Texas, Houston, Seattle, and the Angels. I like the move. I like the move both ways, but more so I want to see what you do, Mets. You're on the clock. I really want to see what's up. I'm rooting for you guys this year. Might pull up to Citi Field this year. I might bury the hatchet with you Mets fans.
Wow.
I literally feel so bad for what's happened to you this offseason. What Juan Soto, David Stearns, or Cohen, whoever's caused this pain for you guys, I want to see you guys finally succeed. And so let's see. Maybe Cody Bellinger goes out to you guys. So.
We'll see what happens with Bellinger. His market's fascinating. Let's keep it on the A's because they also had a big move on Christmas Day yesterday. They extended Tyler Soderstrom, who is 24 years old, to a 7-year, $86 million deal, the largest guarantee in franchise history. My take on this, great for the A's that they're spending money now. They extended Brent Rooker last winter. They extended Lawrence Butler last spring to 5- and 7-year deals, respectively. Rooker's was for $60 million. Butler's was for $65.5 million. I think this is a slap in the face to A's fans from Oakland because the second the A's left Oakland, they decided to start spending money and decide to start extending their guys with Rooker, Butler, and now Soderstrom. Again, it's good that we have a team that normally doesn't spend money. They're finally locking up their guys. But if you're an A's fan from Oakland, it's like, where was this energy when the team was in Oakland? Now all of a sudden you're in Sacramento, you're moving to Vegas in a few years. Now you decide to start spending money? Like, really? Like, we knew you guys had the money the whole time, and you didn't spend it for years and years and years when the team was in Oakland. And now they move. They have the Vegas thing going for them. They got the new stadium that's being built. Now you decide to start spending money. It's like, really? So the fans in Oakland were right all along about the ownership group. The money is there. They just refused to spend it when the team was in Oakland.
Checks are getting cash. That's the thing. They got the influx of cash. The Vegas cash is going to hit. I mean, hey, it's like they went gambling and they just have a big win. To me, this move, nice move, locking up the core.
He was great last year.
Gold Glove
finalist.
Gold Glove finalist, and he's one of those guys that when you look at his numbers, they don't really pop off the page. But when you look at those analytics numbers, as you're looking at right now on Baseball Savant page, like really, really nice numbers. Like he's one of those guys that everybody's kind of like waiting to like, okay, like he's like a Ben Rice, like in the way they're waiting for that positive upswing that, you know, he's been unlucky a lot. I know he went through some injuries or something like that, or he had some time off past 2 seasons. But I mean, the A's, you're on the clock. It's time to see what you're gonna do with Nick Kurtz.
Yeah,
that's the one. If I'm Nick Kurtz, I'm calling up his agent and I'm giving 12 by 300 right now.
Let's see what who his agent is.
Is it Boris?
Doesn't have a publicly named personal agent.
Oh, it'll be Boris soon.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
he's going to get paid. They got to extend him for
12
sure.
by 300 easily. You call him up right now. Take it or leave it. 12 by 300.
12 by 300. So that would be
about 25 to 30.
25 a year.
Yeah, 25 a year. 12 by 300. Let's get it to the paper. You're the star of the team.
It's an interesting thought because if you're Nick Kurtz, your market is arguably could never be hotter than it is right now. After one of the best rookie seasons of all time. If you're the A's, it's like maybe you wait and see. Obviously, you have a ton of years of control left for Nick Kurtz. Maybe you just kind of wait and see what happens next season. Maybe the price dips a little bit. But if you're Nick Kurtz, I'd be pushing to sign that extension with the A's right now because you can get a ton of money. Huge deal. Like you said, $300 million maybe.
12 by 300. It's not a bad deal. It's only $25 million you're on the hook. Like, why not? Let's do it. Or you just do something like 10 with the club option or 8 with the club option, something like that. Just get creative. I mean, it's good. I mean, the A's are going to be one of those teams, like, we're going to be looking at this year a lot, next year a lot, too, with all these young guys coming up. They have Leo DeVries, possibly at the short.
Yeah, man.
They're going to be a team that's going to be on the more and more on the upswing. We're still waiting on those pitchers to sign. And, I mean, they've been showing, like you said, ownership group spending. I mean, they spent that cash over to Ha-Seong Kim, man. Ha-Seong Kim was like, I don't want that cash.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, which kind of looking at it now, we should have seen something like this coming from the A's when you look at the moves, especially the Jeff McNeil trade. If they were going for Jeff McNeil, they got Jeff McNeil and they went for HSK. So it kind of we're looking to shore up the infield. It's just a matter of who is pitching the ball.
Yeah.
They're the epitome of going to score 10, but I will give up 11.
Yeah, Jacob Lopez had a good run for them last year. Severino, I think, is on his contract year. They Mark Leiter Jr. for the bullpen. They got to figure out the bullpen. I know they traded Mason Miller last year for Leo DeVries, who could end up panning out for them. There's no way this isn't going to be my League Pass team or my .TV team, as we call it, next year.
This is a .TV team. We're going to be at Sutter Home watching those games.
Sutter Health.
Sorry, I keep thinking about the wine.
Denzel Clark, electric in center field, arguably the best defensive center fielder behind PCA. Like, he's up there. So this is going to be a fun team to watch moving forward. And they extend one of their core pieces. So huge move for them.
We haven't talked about the biggest move of the week.
Let's talk about it. Munetaka Murakami to the Chicago White Sox. 2 years, $34 million, $17 million annually. Also, the White Sox signed Sean Newcomb, the reliever, to a 1-year
Mune.
But Murakami, before the offseason started, people were saying he was going to get 150, 180 million plus. He settles for this short-term deal, $34 million over 2 years. What are your thoughts on this one?
His agent needs a raise.
A raise? Why a raise?
So, okay. You probably struck out with the initial asking price, which probably struck out with you. But now with this contract, he plays this year, fully this year. Says he plays well. Then there's going to be the lockout. And then he comes out the lockout and says he blazes out the lockout a year or two. These next 2 years, he's hitting free agency again. He double dips in 2 years. And what is he, like 27, 29?
He'll be like 28 when a free agent.
Yeah. Woo! In 2 years, think about it, how that double dip. He gets like, okay, I'll get 17 now, have a really good year. White Sox have a good core, too. They got the number 1 pick in the draft coming up next this year. They got Colson Montgomery, Kyle Teal, Edgar Caro.
Yep.
They got a really good young core. Plays well this year. Comes out the lockout year. We know a lot of teams are apprehensive about spending the money because the lockout's coming. And then, boom, you have a really good year after the lockout. You dip back in the market. Guess what, too? Go look at the Dodgers roster resource.
Well, yeah, Muncie comes off the books.
Who else comes off the books?
Freddie
Freeman's off the books in 2 years. Murakami is going to the minor leagues of the LA Dodgers. He's literally getting a major league tour with the White Sox. So then he gets ready in 2 years to go jump over with Team Japan out in LA.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I think as cool as it is for the White Sox that they're finally spending money, this move isn't for the White Sox to win games. This is clearly a move for the White Sox to get a guy in, buy low, see what he can do for a half a season, a year, and then you trade him, hopefully get a big return, because he doesn't fit with their contention window. It's not like the White Sox are going to be contending for the Central or...
You never know!
For a pennant.
You never know! The Central's so garbage and it's so volatile. Like, that stock is crazy. Like, literally, you could literally have one good month in the Central. You can play 500 or a little bit better than 500 baseball. And if you play a little bit better than 500 baseball, boom, you hit a little bit better and you have one really good month, you're in the playoffs. Go look at the Guardians. Yeah. Go look at the Tigers 2 years ago. That is the AL and the AL Central. With this playoff system, you can literally play 500 level baseball and play 1 month of great baseball and you'll be in the world, in the pennant.
The way I see it, the Sox got him because it's a buy low. He produces, let's say he produces in the first half of the season. You trade him with a year and a half of control left. You get a good return. You get some controllable arms or something. That's how I see the White Sox approaching this move because they're not going to be in contention. They could be, but odds on they won't be contending in the next 2 years. So let's see what they can get as a return for Murakami.
He's a future Dodger.
He's probably a future Dodger.
Freeman contract ends in 2 years. Boom, Murakami in 2 years, you're going to be third base or first base.
If he proves himself in the major leagues, if the strikeouts aren't too much of a waste.
Dodgers will not take. You can be Team Japan, but you gotta live up to it.
You gotta be good. Yeah,
because if you're not, you just won't pay for Team Japan. There's a lot of guys in the majors that aren't playing for the Dodgers.
That is true.
And so I mean, hey, I'll just say this: if the Dodgers aren't entering you, and if you're a Japanese player, I'm out. I'm throwing red flags.
That's true. Like am I.
Well, Mai's different because he's kind of been
It doesn't want to go. No real news on Amai's market.
You think Shota made the call? To Mune?
What about Murakami and said don't come to the Cubs?
And
the Cubs probably didn't want to offer this money.
Or Chicago's cool. You should come to Chicago. Well, the Chicago has Michael Bush and Matt Shaw.
Yeah, exactly.
In the corners.
So they don't need a first
But
baseman.
you think he made the call and Shota was yeah, it's cool out here?
Oh, in the city.
Yeah.
Maybe they had some conversations.
Conversations, good restaurants.
Yeah.
Whatnot. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I like the White Sox. White Sox got a little core going.
Yeah,
White Sox games are going to be fun.
It gives you a reason to go to the park for sure.
You think Mune is because that's what he wants to be called. He's kind of now, you got the whole social media going. Like, he's smart.
He made a TikTok.
Like, he's smart. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're getting ready to get the Team Japan. You are twerking for Team Japan to get the call out to LA.
He's already starting the PR campaign to get signed by the Dodgers.
Or a big market. Like,
or a big market
yeah,
team.
He's like, You think he's a one-handed glizzy eater or two-handed glizzy eater?
I think I'm not answering that question.
Does he hold the Chicago dog overhanded or underhanded?
He's gonna have to have a Chicago dog. He's gonna have to enjoy some Portillos.
That's what I think. I'm a reality TV show. If I work for Bravo, for NBC, Universal, Comcast, I would just have a television series following around players going to the major leagues for the first time, to America for the first time, and seeing how they adapt. Could you imagine just Murakami in Chicago? Munetaka Murakami in Chicago.
In the freezing cold winter of Chicago.
I don't think that, but just like trying to figure out like it's like sending somebody to Milwaukee.
It would be interesting. Could be interesting.
It would be interesting.
I also think people underrate just how much of a revenue boost it is signing one of these Japanese players, because it's such a rabid fan base. You see those social media numbers spike when they were announcing the Murakami signing earlier this week. The engagement, the interaction, the revenue that's going to come from Murakami jersey sales. Like, this is good for the White Sox in terms of the money that's going to be injected into the organization by signing Murakami. I think people underrate the business aspect side of
marketing aspect.
Like, think of Ohtani and everything he's done for the Dodgers. We'll talk a little bit about the luxury tax bill that they had. But that was all paid for because of just the unbelievable amount of money they're making off having a guy like Shohei Ohtani. Same is true to the Cubs for like a guy like Shota Imanaga.
Well, he's different because he was older and he doesn't have he has fans, but it's like.
But again, there is an influx of cash there. Dodgers have a bunch of those guys. So Yamamoto, Roki, they're killing it in that aspect. So I hope we start to see more of these Japanese guys go to other teams besides the Dodgers, because teams realize there is money to be made here. There is a rabid fan base of people that care about these players. And I also think it's really cool. He had a really interesting and fun introductory press conference where he brought out the White Sox. And now he's got the PR campaign thing going too with the TikTok and the social media. His English was pretty good too, so props to him.
Don't quote me on this, but I think the Angels were interested. And supposedly I read by some rumor mill, don't know if it's true, front office really wanted him, but ownership did not sign off in LA.
Interesting.
And so
it would have been a good fit.
Working in reverse, but I think they're in on Okamoto.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
haven't heard much on him either.
Well, he was linked with the Angels and Pirates, and the Pirates just signed Ryan O'Hearn, so it's kind of like defeats the purpose. Which let's talk about that move. Ryan O'Hearn. Let's talk Pittsburgh baseball. Ryan O'Hearn, 2 years, $29 million, 14.5 AAV, 135 WRC plus against left-handed pitching, outfielder and first baseman. First multi-year deal for Pittsburgh since Ivan Nova's 3-year deal in 2016. Talk about a blast from the past. The Yankee legend, Ivan Nova.
Ivan Nova.
Excuse me. Sorry, I was saying it in English. Then the last hitter they signed for a multi-year deal was John Jaso, 2 years, $8 million, 2015. Largest free agent guarantee since Francisco Liriano's 3-year.
No, that was just their biggest contract ever.
Yeah. Talk about it.
3 years, 39.
They're spending money. The Paul Skeens effect is real. They're trying to. I don't have much to say about this. They've clearly done a horrible job in their development system because Termar's not panning out. They had Henry Davis also.
They got Connor Griffin coming up this year, number 1 prospect in all of baseball.
He'll put butts in the seats, but it's a lineup. You need more than one hitter. We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh.
Their offense was the worst in baseball besides the Rockies last season. So they brought in Brendan Lowe, that trade with Tampa where they just gave up Mitch Burrows, sent him to Houston, 3-way trade. They got Mason Montgomery and Jake Mangum in that move as well.
Jake Mangum just reminds me of those outfielders that Pittsburgh has, like the Jack Sawinskis, like those types of they have a type out there.
So, it's a good move. Some power into that lineup. Anything to improve that lineup is good. Obviously, it's not the Kyle Schwarber that they were linked with earlier this year, or Josh Naylor, but he had a good year last year, career year last year, was an all-star. Wasn't as good when he got traded to San Diego as he was when he was in Baltimore. But I like the move. They're trying out there in Pittsburgh. That's all I can say about that.
What is their infield? I'm going to sound really date myself, but I have no idea who Pittsburgh's infield right now is, other than Brandon Lowe and Ryan O'Hearn.
Horwitz,
They got
Triolo. Shortstop is, what happened? No, they traded Brian Hayes. Their shortstop is like Nick Gonzalez. It's a terrible infield. Connor Griffin's coming up. We'll see him.
Who's at third?
Jared Triolo.
Oh, wow.
But Connor Griffin will probably be their shortstop next year.
Triolo, Horowitz, all just reek of like Milwaukee Brewers bench players or like Guardians bench players.
Yeah.
Well, Horowitz was on, and you can check. Horowitz started in Toronto, then he got traded for Andres Jimenez to Cleveland, and then Cleveland flipped him for, I think it was Luis Ortiz.
I think that's correct.
Which is the gambling guy.
Oh, yeah.
GG, gambling guy.
He's out of the league for sure, forever.
Yeah. But that's
transactions. That is correct. Yeah, he was in the 3-team trade. Guardians. Well, he was drafted by the Blue Jays, then traded to.
That's what I said. Traded for Andres Jimenez to the Guardians, and the Guardians then got him, and you flipped him for Luis Ortiz.
You got it backward. First was the Luis Ortiz trade, and then last winter was the Andres Jimenez trade from the Blue Jays.
Okay.
I think, yeah. So he was involved in both of those trades.
I can figure it out.
The timing. But yeah, that team is still not good. They have a ton of arms. That's one thing to be excited about.
Talk about some Marlins baseball. Miami, we got Peter Fairbanks.
Pete. You always say Peter.
Oh, Pete.
Pete.
Sorry.
Not. I'm sure his government name is Peter. Yeah. But I don't
Sorry
think
that I called you by government name, Pete. I think it's a really good move. We lost Ronnie Henriquez to Tommy John. Henriquez was really nice. I don't know if you've seen him pitch. Quality. Rays really fumbled the bag, declining his $11 million club option, which is pretty crazy that they lost him over $2 million. And I mean, he's just moving south to 4 hours south for $2 extra million more.
Will he be a Yankee at the trade deadline?
100%.
Question.
100%. It's just like we talk about how Boston and St. Louis made trades like all the time this offseason. I mean, Miami and New York are just, Derek Jeter connection and just...
Well, no longer about
but, they make trades all the time. So it's guaranteed. Pete Fairbanks will be a New York Yankee by the deadline with one of Sandy Alcantara and Edward Cabrera. It's just a matter of when, not if.
So this was a move that the Yankees didn't want to give out the $13 million because it's going to get us closer to whatever luxury tax threshold. But there's like, all right, we'll get Pete Fairbanks at the deadline. The Marlins probably won't be in contention. Maybe. They could be. I doubt it.
They won't.
And then I kind of feel like they're a regression candidate next year. And then boom.
They only have to pay $6 million because it's half the contract.
Yeah, exactly.
And Pete's going to be so mad, like, crap, I got to pay more New York taxes instead of Florida taxes.
Yeah.
So...
interesting team next year. Losing Enriquez.
I like the move. I really do like the move. I mean, we were in for bullpen help. I mean, Christopher Morel seems like one of those guys that will turn into a god next year at one of the hot corners, at the hot corner and third. And I mean, Jacob Marcy, Kyle Stowers, Christopher Morel, Otto Lopez, Big Gus. Agustin Ramirez.
Yeah.
A lot to like about down there in Miami. I mean, they're slowly building something. I would like them to spend a little bit more money or for us to give us like a hitter to get excited about. I feel like we're 1 or 2 hitters away from us getting into a more of a middle of the pack to upper of the pack lineup. Pitchers, I mean, we develop pitchers like no other baseball team does. That's not a problem. Jason Dominguez, I don't know how he fits. Stowers, Marcy, maybe Dominguez comes there and we flip him around, but I don't know.
Excited to see what Stowers does next year. The payroll's up to $73 million, man. That feels so low.
We have money to spend. I mean, we got Yuri, full year Yuri back.
You got to think they moved Sandy before the season.
I mean, for what? I just don't know. I want a first baseman. I want an infielder. I want, like, not a big bat, but I want a marquee bat in that lineup. I see the potential with Jason Dominguez, but again, I kind of do feel like he's one of these Yankee prospects that got overhyped. And when you look at the real numbers and deep dive it, the thing with Volpe was that Volpe was accelerated so fast, just like Dominguez. He went up so fast in, like, How many at-bats? I don't think he even cracked like more than like 500 or 600 at-bats in the minors. Dominguez, like his minor leagues, he was like another fast trapped and didn't really play that much in the minor league system.
Yeah, I can look that up.
He was one of those guys that did not.
He's still super young. I mean,
and he went through TJ that year, so he lost another year of development. So like due to bad luck injury wise, and also
oh god, he had a ton. He had 4 seasons, 1,500 at bats in the minors.
Yeah, but 4 seasons, what? It was so quick. He got fast tracked very fast. That's my point.
Well, he made his debut in 23, and then he had the Tommy John, which left him out of the 24 season, which is part of the reason they brought in Verdugo. So in the minor leagues, he had this here on MLB.com says he has 1,300 at bats.
But yeah, but he
4 seasons.
4 seasons, what? Single, triple, double?
Rookie, single A, double A, triple A. Yeah.
Yeah, but he needs more seasoning.
He definitely needs more seasoning. I don't know. We'll see if the Yankees make a move for Sandy. We know they want another arm. Some other notes before we get out. Paul Blackburn back to the Yankees, 1 year, $2 million. The more we drag on this offseason, the more it feels like the Yankees really aren't just going to do anything. And they're content on offering Bellinger the contract that they want to give him. They're not going to overpay for Bellinger, which I do think is smart. But we haven't seen much in the trade market with the Yankees. They're not going to get Amai. Is this really just going to be an offseason where the Yankees sit there and don't do anything to make the team better? They just bring back some of these bench pieces that they had last year? I think that's concerning as a Yankee fan because, again, your window is closing with Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole as your 2 star players on this team. The window could be closed with Cole. Who knows what he's going to look like coming back from Tommy John.
I've been saying this, and nobody wants to listen. Like, people are like, "Oh, we shouldn't get a mic. We shouldn't go get a starting pitcher." You can never have enough starting pitching. And I mean, with young starting pitchers, like that value is like a brand new sports car. Like when you have one, you can get really nice returns on it. It's just figuring out which one you want to give. You can't hoard all these guys. There's only 5 rotation spots, 6 if you're going to go modern approach, but there's only 6 rotation pieces, and you need about 7 to 8 to eat innings. So in reality, like there's not enough of spots and innings for them to eat up. And you put Heel in the bullpen, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen to his value? You can't increase the value in the bullpen because he's just going to be coming out, and they're going to think about a bullpen piece. And then if he comes and starts every like 6th or 7th day for like a month, like that's just not enough sample size. Like we don't know. Well, last year, Luis Heel could have gone for Kyle Tucker. Yeah. Now Luis Heel goes for, I don't know, probably 1 Ryan O'Hearn or something like that, or a little bit more. Yeah, Willson Contreras. Like right now, you can't. I don't even think you can get Brendan Donovan with Luis Heel. You're probably going to have to add to get Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my whole point.
And if they don't re-sign Bellinger because Bellinger gets top dollar from whatever team, cool. If Aaron Judge gets hurt, that team sucks.
The lineup sucks.
Yeah, the pitching could.
I don't care about WAR. I know these guys on Instagram, Twitter, and heads are like, oh, the Yankees had a really high WAR, and like they had unlucky breaks because of Davon Williams in the bullpen. Like I don't care. Like this lineup, time and time again, has shown us that they are not clutch, and this lineup does not produce when it needs to produce.
Yeah.
If Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, those guys haven't shown me that they can be reliable in the lineup. There's no protection for Judge. Jazz Chisholm's great, but we understand that he is very mercurial. As he's very high, he can be very freaking low. William was just praising him earlier, but we all know that, all it takes is for a couple bad Jazz games and Williams cussing him out on text saying like, oh my God, he just strikes out. It just IQ. It's just nothing. And what are we going to do about the base running? What are we going to do about the defense? Are we going to still make those Yankee way errors?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird offseason for the Yankees. It seems like the front office thinks they can win the East with this team, which Toronto's gotten better. Everyone in the division has gotten better. Literally everybody.
Boston's going to get better because they got, as much as like we talked about the Willson trade, that's a floor raiser, just as Sonny is a ceiling raiser. So okay, Toronto's probably going to get one of Bichette and Tucker or both. Maybe if they get crazy, maybe if they get Bregman too. They're all linked with Bregman too.
Who knows, man?
Maybe, I know Bregman could just be a smokescreen for them saying like, "Hey, sign the pen and paper." They could get Ketel Marte because what if they get Tucker and Bichette walks? They just go call up Kyle and get Ketel Marte. They got the Dominicans on the team. They make the call. You got Whtie making the call. Team DR. Hey, Ketel Marte is better than Bo Bichette. You know Bo Bichette's a great player, but yeah, I don't know. You got to do something. We didn't even talk about Baltimore. Baltimore got Shane Baz, which
For like 30 prospects.
I know, but think about it. His stuff is really good.
Yeah.
And they're able to tap into that potential that he has. I think Shane Baz can be a frontline guy.
Well, they needed another arm. We knew that. They gave up a bunch of prospects. They gave up their 6th, 10th, 11th, 30th overall prospects in a competitive balance around a draft pick number 33 overall for Shane Baz, who has 3 years of control before becoming a free agent. Tampa Bay didn't really develop him as a pitcher. He had a 4.87 ERA last year.
Gives up a lot of long balls, a lot of loud contact.
31 starts. I think he had that one start against the Yankees where the Yankees just went nuclear against
10
him
runs, yes.
in Steinbrenner Field. But he gets away from that stadium into Baltimore, which is a more pitcher-friendly park. They developed Trevor Rogers into a really good arm. This is what they need to do. They need to get out and get another arm, and he's 26. Maybe they can develop him. He was a 12th overall pick with the Pirates, so the pedigree is there.
He has good stuff. I've seen his stuff. It's just preventing that loud contact.
Yeah,
And he gives up a lot of homers. He's curveball guy, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Fastball curve guy. The average fastball velo is in the 88th percentile at 97 miles an hour, but the average exit velocity is 89, which is about 57th percentile, so middle of the pack. But lots of walks,
Control stuff.
control issues, ground ball pitcher. It could work out in Baltimore. It remains to be seen. They gave up a bunch of prospects. Probably will end up being a good deal for Tampa.
Tampa just never fails to make a bad deal.
Well, they do. They do.
When was the last time they made a bad deal?
There was an article I was reading from Rosenthal. They had some bad trades. I can't remember off the top of my head, though.
Rosenthal quoter.
Well, I mean, he writes good stuff.
You think Shane Baz eats his glizzy one hand or two hands?
Here it is. Okay, here we go.
You still haven't answered the question.
2 hands. Christopher Sanchez to the Phillies for Curtis Mead, Kyle Manzardo. To the Guardians for Aaron Savale. And Joe Ryan to the Twins for Nelson Cruz. Those are bad deals for the Rays. Blake Snell to the Padres for 4 prospects. That's a bad move.
I don't discount the Blake Snell one because I feel like that was kind of a push.
The main deal, the main deals that they have made that people point to, obviously the Chris Archer deal with the Pirates where they got Glasnow, Austin Meadows, and Shane Baz. Nick Solak to the Rangers for Pete Fairbanks, and then Tobias Myers to the Guardians for Junior Cabrera, which might end up being the best of them all.
Yeah, well, I mean, for every good trade, there's a bad one attached to it, but I just feel like some of them aren't bad. Like I feel like Nelson Cruz for Joe Ryan, not a bad trade. Not that too terrible. Just you have to think of the optics of where they were at that point, looking for power bat.
I mean, I'd rather have Joe Ryan.
Obviously now, but a lot of these like player to be named laters are just like fill-in guys. You never know. It was like Michael Brantley was one of the fill-in guys I think in the CC Sabathia trade back in the day. It's hard to project sometimes. Luis Castillo also. Sometimes it's just like teams just strike gold and they're able to fix them and you know what happens. So.
Couple other things before we get out. Bryce Harper commits to Team USA, something we kind of expected to happen.
Should be Nick Kurtz.
Should be Matt Olson.
Also, both of them more deserving.
Harper is at an interesting point in his career. He came over to the Phillies. Huge move, huge deal, huge contract. He came over to win World Series with them. Has not done that in the few, it was like 5, 6, 7 seasons that he's been with the Phillies. For now, hasn't won a World Series. The Nationals won the World Series the year after he got there. Last year was hurt. Won an MVP, obviously, in Washington and in Philadelphia. Is a great baseball player overall, but can he get that championship? Who knows? He's going to Team USA. And then the Dodgers, they paid a record $169 million luxury tax bill, which is the highest in MLB history. It exceeded the payroll of 12 teams, and they have now surpassed the Yankees as the highest luxury tax spender in history, which was since 2003 when it was instituted. Luxury taxpayers this year, the Dodgers, $169 million, the Mets, $91 million, the Yankees, $61 million. Steinbrenner is not happy about that. The Phillies, $56 million, the Jays, $13 million, Padres at $7 million, Astros at $1.5 million, Red Sox at $1.5 million, and Rangers at $190K. How does that happen? $190K in luxury tax? What's going on in the accounting department in Texas?
Some Enron. It's the whole Enron, man. I got a question. Dodger dog or Fenway Frank?
Fenway Frank was pretty disappointing.
It was.
Dodger dog, probably.
One hands or two hands?
All right.
Overhand or underhand?
Any breaking news before we get out? I'm just
no
checking
idea.
the sites. No, nothing has happened. Hopefully we get some moves between now and the new year, but I feel like it's going to be quiet this next week.
I do feel that. Yeah, and there's nothing. So
it's kind of been that way, but we were able to get however long in. This was a long one. This was a fun one. Always fun to do these in person. Luis, any final thoughts before we head out today?
Gotta go off that. Let's watch some AFCON.
African Cup of Nations soccer is on. There's
WBC here in 2 months.
WBC in 2 months. Man United are about to play. We got bowl season. Michigan just hired a new coach.
Are we getting a scorekeeper out for? Are we having a scorekeeper or the mascot?
For WBC, we'll see.
Or is it just going to be a lock-in sports, just direct?
I don't know. That remains to be seen. Baseball Savant has the countdown: 89 days until opening night, 56 days until spring training games, and 68 days until the WBC. We'll leave it at that. Luis, thanks as always. Fun doing these in person. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you guys, I don't know, next week. Maybe one we'll do early in the week before the new year. Until then, peace out.